Okay, now in our third module of Commerce 3, that is related to organization, we have understood the types of organizations like line organization, line and staff organization, matrix organization. And in our last period, we have understood regarding departmentation. We understood what is departmentation. We understood the basis of departmentation and some diagrams also we have learned. Now today we are proceeding with the next part of the same chapter, that is called as span of management or control. So this particular topic is known as either span of management or even span of control. So both the things you have to keep in mind, because in examination, the word can be anything, either span of management or span of control. Now, as far as word span is concerned, span means, the gap or the time period. This is what, we are using that particular word in everyday's life. Like time span for this particular work was half an hour, or time span for this particular task was 1 year. So when we say the term span, we are always using the word time with that. So time span, that is the meaning in our mind. Now over here, span is something, which is expressing the number of subordinates. If you are writing the notes, please keep that particular point in your at the paper, that span is related, or it is expressing the number of subordinates. अगर ये आपको याद हो गया ना स्पैन का, तो आपको पूरा टॉपिक अच्छे से समझ आ जाएगा. स्पैन मींस number of subordinates. Now here in the image which is given over here in the slide, you can see that here there is one person who's having 4 people under him, right? These are the 4 people on whom this person is commanding. Now again you see that this second person, this middle person, he is again having 4 people under him, right? Under him. This person is working under this first person, and this person is having again 4 subordinates. Now this person, the third person, is having one assistant, you can say that. Then this fourth person is having 3 people under him. Then again you can see that this person who's working under the second person is having 3 assistants, 3 people under him. Then the second person is having again 3 people under him. This person is having one assistant. This person does not have anyone. This person again having one person, and this last person is having again 3 people, right? Or you can say this particular, the line is not there, so 4 people are there who are working under him. Now here, if you see that, we can say that this particular person is having span of 4 people, right? If I'm using the management language, what I will say, that this person is having span of 4 people. That means he is controlling on 4 people, right? ये जो 4 लोग हैं, ये इनके अंडर में काम कर रहे हैं. दैट मीन्स इनका पूरा कंट्रोल, इन 4 लोगों का पूरा जो कंट्रोल है, वो फर्स्ट पर्सन के हाथ में है. आई जस्ट हाईलाइट दिस. ये जो 4 लोग हैं, ये इसके अंदर में काम कर रहे हैं. तो ये जो चीज आ जाती है ना, इसको बोलते हैं स्पैन ऑफ मैनेजमेंट और स्पैन ऑफ कंट्रोल, राइट? So if somebody is asking you that what is the span of this particular man, you'll be having answer as 4. Now why 4, not 5, not 6? Why not 3? Because that depends upon his capability. If he is able to control 4 people, then only 4 people will be given to him. If he is able to control more than 4, then he can control more than that, right? So that is called as span of management, because this particular person can control 4 people. So 4 assistants have been given to him, and these 4 assistants, some people are having 3 people under them, some are having 1, some are having even 0, and accordingly the work is happening. So this is called as span of management or span of control. Now I'm just giving you one thing. There is one theory called as grakunas theory. Now as far as word grakuna is concerned, Grakuna was a management scientist, And what he has done, he has conducted one research and he came out with one theory. And he said that the people, those who are managing others, can manage how many people? For example, if the person who is at the top level, he can manage at the most 6 people, and the person who is working at the middle level or lower level can work or manage 20 people. So this is how the ratio of 6 is to 20 has come. What he concluded, that if you are working at the top level managers post, you are working under that, then you can manage maximum 6 people under you. And if you are trying to have more than 6 people, then absolutely there will not be any control on them. Similarly, for middle level managers and lower level managers, he said that the maximum number which can be controlled can be 20. The span of control should not be more than 20. And this particular formula he has calculated on a scientific manner. He studied the nature of the people, he studied the behavior of the people, and based on that he concluded that the ratio should be 6 is to 20. That means at the top level, the maximum number of subordinates which can be managed cannot be more than 6, and at the middle level manager it cannot be more than 20. Now, just take an example. See, when you took admission in FY BCom, and from that particular year onwards, we are taking online lectures and online exams are happening. So you are not attending physical class or the physical examination, but you just recollect the thing when you were in school and when you used to appear for the offline exam. Teacher used to ask you that you have to sit on your seat number, and you might have noticed that during examination one student is sitting on one bench, because that is the standard size of that classroom. If in a classroom there are 20 batches, then, or 20 benches, you can say that, then maximum students which can be accommodated in that classroom should be 20, not more than that. Why is it so? Because again there is scientific formula which is calculated, and that said that one exam supervisor should not be given more number of students, because when you are giving more number of students to the same supervisors, then what will happen? There are high chances students will copy, because one teacher will not be sufficient to see or look around all the students how they are working for that. Similarly, university also have given that the ratio. University says that one supervisor should not have more than 40 students in a batch, right? So if you are getting a job of supervisor in a classroom, you are not having more than 40 students. It can be less than that, but it should not be more than 40, because if it is more than 40, then what will happen? There will be the problem of copying, there will be problem of students, there will be problem of clarifying the doubts of the students. So many things will come, and the examination will not go in a smooth manner. So to avoid that particular problem, already university has given the span of control, that is called as span of control. So I think now the meaning of span of control is little clear to you. That span of control means a number of subordinates. आप कितने लोगों को इफेक्टिवली सुपरवाइज कर सकते हो, उनसे काम निकलवा के दे सकते हो। अगर आपको ज्यादा लोग दे देंगे तो भी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी, क्योंकि इतने सारे लोगों को आप कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाएंगे, राइट? लेकिन धीरे धीरे करके जब आपका एक्सपीरियंस बढ़ता जाएगा, आपको जब नॉलेज मिलता जाएगा, फिर आपको ज्यादा लोगों का टाइम या ज्यादा लोगों का कंट्रोल दिया जा सकता है। सो लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड what is the meaning which is given in our syllabus for span. It says that span of control refers to number of subordinates that can be supervised and managed effectively. This will be asked in the form of objectives or MCQs. So please memorize this definition. It says span of control refers to number of subordinates that can be supervised and managed effectively. Effectively means, you have to have the capability to get the work done in an efficient manner. If you are having more number of workers, more number of subordinates, then everything will go in vain. You have to have good control on them. So that is called as span of control. As I told you, Grakuna has given the standard number, but still, there are so many factors which are describing whether the span of control can be increased or it should not be increased. कुछ ऐसी चीजें रहती हैं, कुछ ऐसे फैक्टर्स होते हैं जिसके बेस पे हम ये डिसाइड करते हैं कि ए मैनेजर को कितने सबऑर्डिनेट्स देने हैं, बी मैनेजर को कितने सबऑर्डिनेट्स देने हैं. अब यहाँ पे मैं आपको एक बात क्लेरिफाई कर देता हूँ. ग्रेकुना ने जो थियरी बताया था, व्हाट ही सेड दैट वन मैनेजर इज प्लेइंग so many roles and he is maintaining so many relationships. He has taken one example, like Mr. A is having two subordinates, B and C, right? He is having two subordinates, B and C. And he said that B, let us say, is a very sincere person, very polite person, and he's working for the organization, very honest, very regular. And C is not that much honest, that much punctual. He is working for him only because he is getting salary from the office, so he feels that okay, office में से salary मिलती है तो काम तो करना है. मतलब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के फेवर के लिए नहीं रहता है, उसका दिमाग थोड़ा अलग ही चलता है. मिस्टर ए को दोनों को मैनेज करना है, बी और सी को. नाउ दैट इज चैलेंज फॉर ए. सो व्हेनेवर ही इज टॉकिंग टू बी, his behavior will be different because B is a very sincere person. वो हर चीज मानता है, हर चीज अच्छे से समझता है और ईमानदारी से काम करता है. तो ए को चिल्लाने की जरूरत नहीं है, उसे ज्यादा सुनाने की जरूरत नहीं है. पर सी की बात अलग है. सी लेट आता है, काम ठीक से नहीं करता, टाइम पर तो कभी काम होता ही नहीं है, और ऊपर से वो और लोगों को भी भड़काता रहता है. तो ए का अप्रोच सी के लिए डिफरेंट होगा, थोड़ा सा स्ट्रिक्ट रहेगा. ये हो गई अलग अलग बातें. सपोज दोनों सामने बैठे हैं तो वो क्या करेगा? क्या सामने बैठ के वो इस तरह की पार्शलिटी कर सकता है? हरगिज नहीं, नहीं कर सकता. प्रोफेशनली एक मैनेजर एक क्लियर मीटिंग में कभी भी पार्शलिटी नहीं कर सकता. वो एक को अप्रिशिएट करेगा, वाह वाह तुम तो बहुत अच्छा काम करते हो, और एक को गुस्सा करेगा, ऐसा कर ही नहीं सकता, वो फंस जाएगा ऐसा करेगा तो. दैट मीन्स उसका अप्रोच डिफरेंट रहेगा. उस टाइम पे वो इस तरह से बात करेगा कि बी को भी फील नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज द गुड पीपल दे आर हैविंग दैट दैट नैरो माइंड. मतलब बॉस किसी और को भी गुस्सा करेगा ना, इन जनरल बोलेगा अरे तुम लोग तो कुछ काम नहीं करते, देन वो जो सिंसियर पर्सन रहेगा ना, वो मन पे ले लेता है. वो दुखी हो जाता है कि अरे मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं किया, फिर भी सर ने सबके सामने सबको डांट दिया. लाइक दैट पर्टिकुलर फीलिंग विल बी देयर. ए को वो भी नहीं करना है. और एकदम lenient लेने तो फिर वो सी फायदा उठाएगा, कह रहे हो तो कुछ नहीं बोल रहा है, मैं थोड़ी ना लेट आता हूँ, सभी तो सबके लिए उसका रूल है, मुझे तो कुछ बोला नहीं, लाइक दैट. तो ये अलग रिलेशनशिप हो जाता है. फिर जब बी और सी आपस में बातें करते हैं तो भी ए का रोल रहता है कि ये दोनों आपस में मिलके, मतलब सी बी को खराब नहीं कर रहा है, और बी ऐसा नहीं है कि सी का पूरा काम अपने सिर पे ले रहा है, तो ए वहां पे भी रोल प्ले करता है. सो व्हाट ग्रैकुना सेड दैट इफ यू आर हैविंग टू पीपल अंडर यू, यू आर मैनेजिंग 6 relationships. You are managing 6 relationships. And if you are having five subordinates under you, 5 subordinates, then you are managing 100 relationship. वो क्रिस क्रॉस करके उसने बताया, एक फॉर्मूला बताई. So if you are having 5 people under you, you have to manage 100 relationship. That means you have to play 100 different roles. How challenging it is, right? So if you are having more number of people under you, it would be very difficult for you to complete the work or to get the work done. And at the same time, you have to manage even the decorum of your entire office. So span of control, whatever Grakuna has suggested, companies are following, but there are some other factors also which are to be considered while giving the span. So on the next slide, we are going to understand that what are the factors which are influencing span of management. That means अगर एक पर्सन को हमें सबऑर्डिनेट्स देने हैं तो कितने देने चाहिए, 2 देने चाहिए, 4 देने चाहिए या 10 देने चाहिए, वो डिपेंड करता है कई सारे फैक्टर्स के ऊपर। तो एक एक करके हम लोग समझते हैं क्या क्या फैक्टर्स हैं। द फर्स्ट वन इज नेचर ऑफ वर्क। You just understand what kind of work you are going to do. If that particular work requires continuous meetings, continuous the transfer of opinion or sharing of opinions and all, then in that case try to avoid the more number of people. अगर आपने एक पर्सन को ज्यादा लोग दे दिए ऐसे काम के लिए जहां पे उनको बार बार मीटिंग्स बुलानी है, अपने ओपिनियन शेयर करने हैं, तो बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी। बिकॉज मोर नंबर ऑफ पीपल विल बी हैविंग डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन। वो हिंदी में कहावत है ना, 100 लोग 100 बातें या 100 सलाह। तो अगर आपके पास ज्यादा लोग रहेंगे तो ज्यादा ओपिनियंस आ जाएंगे, ज्यादा आर्ग्यूमेंट होगा और काम होगा ही नहीं। मतलब जो एक पर्सन बेचारे को इतने सारे लोग दिए हैं वो डिसीजन ही नहीं ले पाएगा। सो नेचर ऑफ वर्क मीन्स इफ योर नेचर ऑफ वर्क रिक्वायर्स the people to meet on regular basis and to share the opinions and views, try to avoid more number of people, try to have less number of people। तो उससे क्या होगा, कंट्रोल अच्छा रहेगा। कम लोग रहेंगे, आप बार बार मीटिंग बुला सकते हैं, अपने आपस में जो ओपिनियंस है वो शेयर करके कन्विंस कर सकते हैं, तो जल्दी काम हो जाएगा। सो नेचर ऑफ वर्क इज अ फर्स्ट फैक्टर which is describing that how many people can work under one supervisor. Then the second is experience of supervisor. That means the person who is going to manage the people, right? The superior. तो superior और supervisor का experience count करना है। I'm giving you my example. I got appointment in this college in the year 2001. That means 20 years back. Of course, I was quite young in those days. And in those days, whenever examination used to happen, I was not sent alone in the block. Somebody else was also there, always with me, to help me out. Right. And that was required actually in those days because I was not having the experience of managing the examination, specially. But when slowly I learned that, I came to know that what are the various common things which are to be done by the supervisor, how to control on the classroom, how to manage, right? So that examination should go on in a smooth manner. So when I got the experience, then they started sending me alone in the block. And now there are chances I may, even supervise 2 blocks at a time. That much experience I'm having. Because I know that what is the work of supervisor. So whatever common work, writing the reports and all, I do it before the examination starts. I, keep the numbers ready. I take the attendance. I keep the rounds. I know that what are the various, modes through that students are copying, what are the various loopholes which are made use by the students. So, I do that. I do in that manner. Because of my experience, now I can even supervise more than 1 block, though I have not received that, but I can manage it. Right. So when I was new, I was not even sent alone. In fact, somebody was there always with me to help me out. So over here, when the work allotment or the subordinates are allotted, the experience of supervisor or superior is counted. If the supervisor or superior is having very good amount of experience, then he can have more number of subordinates under him because he knows that how to control on them, how to get the work done. But if he is very new, he is not having good experience, then please don't give him more number of subordinates because that will create confusion and chaos in the organization. ये बेचारा ऑलरेडी एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, फिर ऊपर से आप इतने सारे लोग दे देंगे कि काम निकलवा के करो, तो वो हो ही नहीं सकेगा, राइट? दैट इज एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ सुपरवाइजर. इवन दैट फैक्टर इज आल्सो टू बी कंसीडर्ड while deciding number of subordinates. Then subordinates abilities, this is also to be counted. If the subordinates are good, subordinates are well disciplined, subordinates are honest, subordinates are punctual, then in my opinion they don't need even supervisor. उनको तो supervisor की भी जरूरत नहीं है अगर वो सारा काम खुद ही करते हैं. So if your subordinates are having that many qualities, that many abilities, you can increase the number of span. क्योंकि आपको एक सुपरवाइजर अपॉइंट करना, उसके अंदर आप 100 लोग दे दो, क्योंकि 100 के लोग जो हैं वो सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन है, उनको डिसिप्लिन इंपोज करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, दे आर वर्किंग बाय देयर ओन। शायद आपको पता नहीं होगा, देहरादून में एक स्कूल, अभी वो पता नहीं वो प्रैक्टिस करते हैं या नहीं, एक प्रिंसिपल ने एक एक्सपीरियंस किया था, एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था इनफैक्ट एग्जाम का। उसने क्या किया था, एक पर्टिकुलर ब्लॉक में सीसीटीवी कैमरा लगा दिया था, जो बच्चों को पता नहीं था क्योंकि वो सडन चीजें हुई थी। और एग्जामिनेशन के टाइम पे सारे बच्चे अपने बेंच पे बैठे और उनको इंस्ट्रक्शंस दे दिए कि आज कोई टीचर क्लास में नहीं आएगा। प्यून ने जाके क्वेश्चन पेपर एक जगह पे रखा, एक जगह पे आंसर शीट रखा। बच्चों को पहले अनाउंसमेंट कर दिया कि अपनी अपनी आंसर शीट ले लो और वहां पे अपना रोल नंबर डाल के सारी जो भी तैयारी है वो करके रखो। और बेल होने के बाद बच्चे खुद आके अपना क्वेश्चन पेपर उठा के गए, अपना पेपर अपीयर किया, और जैसे टाइम खत्म हुआ लाइन से आके पेपर ऐसे जमाते गए। ठीक है, कुछ कॉपी नहीं हुआ, सीसीटीवी कैमरा था लेकिन बच्चों को पता ही नहीं था। मतलब ऐसी क्लास जहां पे सुपरवाइजर की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी और एग्जाम स्मूथली गए। क्या आपको लगता है कि मुंबई के किसी स्कूल में इस तरह का सिस्टम अप्लाई करना चाहिए? बिल्कुल नहीं, मेरे हिसाब से तो बिल्कुल नहीं। There is need for supervisors. In fact, you must be laughing, I think. You must be smiling at least. अगर ये सिस्टम यहाँ पे इंट्रोड्यूस हो गया तो एग्जाम का तो कुछ मतलब ही नहीं रहेगा। Anyway, so I'm not criticizing the system. I'm just giving you the example that if your subordinates are having that much ability, if they are very sincere, then you can increase the number of subordinates. But if you feel that subordinates are troublemakers, वो सताने वाले हैं, तो नंबर कम करो, वो ज्यादा बेटर रहता है। देन फेथ इन सबॉर्डिनेट, ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट है। हाउ मच फेथ यू आर हैविंग इन योर सबॉर्डिनेट्स। आपके सबॉर्डिनेट्स अच्छे होंगे, दे मे बी वेरी वर्किंग, दे मे बी वेरी सिंसियर, दे मे बी वेरी पंक्चुअल, बट यू डोंट हैव फेथ ऑन देम। आपको भरोसा ही नहीं है उनके ऊपर, आपको लगता है कि नहीं ये तो ऐसे ही है। लाइक some teachers may be having the experience कि स्टूडेंट्स जो है ना वो हमेशा सिंसियर नहीं रहते हैं, मजाक उड़ाते रहते हैं, पढ़ाई में सीरियस नहीं रहते हैं। अगर किसी टीचर ने ये ओपिनियन बना लिया है अपने ही स्कूल या कॉलेज में, तो वो कहीं पर भी जाएगा, वो कैरी करके जाएगा, वो चीज अपने साथ लेके जाएगा। उसको हमेशा लगेगा कि सारे ही स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे हैं, क्योंकि उसका एक्सपीरियंस ऐसा है। So in that case, that teacher will not be in a position to manage more number of students. वो ज्यादा मैनेज कर ही नहीं पाएगा, वो पूरा उसका जो स्ट्रक्चर है, जो एक एजुकेशनल वो देना चाहता है, सिस्टम देना चाहता है, वो फेल हो जाएगा, वो कभी काम नहीं करेगा। Now the same thing is applicable in the business forms, where if the superior is not having faith or trust in the subordinates, then it is always better to have the limited number of people. Because if you are giving him more number of people to control and he is not having trust or faith in them, always and always he will delay the decision making. जो भी छोटी छोटी सी बात होगी ना, वो डिसीजंस डिले करता रहेगा, बार बार मीटिंग बुलाता रहेगा, फ्रस्ट्रेटेड रहेगा। So that thing is not good for your organization. It is always good to have less number of people. If the superior is not having faith in subordinate, then incentives offered. Right here we are talking about the facilities or something extra which you are giving along with the salary to your staff. For example, bonus और कमीशन। अगर आप सेल्स डिपार्टमेंट में हैं, आप सेल्स मैनेजर है, मतलब सेल्स जनरल मैनेजर है, और आपके अंडर में काफी सारे सेल्स फोर्स के लोग काम करते हैं, आपको उनको कंट्रोल करना है और उनको ये बताना है कि हाउ टू अचीव द टारगेट, क्योंकि वो आपकी जिम्मेदारी है कि पूरे डिपार्टमेंट को मिला के आपका काम होना चाहिए। लेकिन सपोज कंपनी ने एक और उन्होंने पॉलिसी अप्लाई किया है कि जो इंडिविजुअल सेल्समैन है, वो जितनी भी सेल्स करेगा उसका 5% कमीशन उसको अलग से मिलेगा, सैलरी के अलावा जितनी भी सेल करेगा। तो आपको नहीं लगता कि वो सेल्समैन बिना किसी कंट्रोल के, बिना किसी सुपरविजन के अपने आप ही अच्छा काम करेगा, क्योंकि उसको खुद को भी तो बेनिफिट होने वाला है ना। So that particular person does not require any kind of strict supervision or the strict supervisor, because he knows that if he is working more, if he is working with the honesty or with the sincerity, he is going to enjoy the benefit of that, incentives मिलने वाले हैं उसे। So if your organization is offering incentives, then you can increase the number of people because they will work for at least for their incentives. But if our organization is not providing any kind of incentives to the workers or to the staff, then always and always have a limited number of people, because these people are not motivated. वो motivated ही नहीं है, तो वो काम करेंगे ही नहीं. इसके लिए उनको strict supervision या strict supervisor की जरूरत पड़ती है. Then the next is types of organization. What kind of organization you are having? If you are having the organization where only the work trading is happening, then you can increase the number of people. But if your organization is manufacturing organization, then again your system of working will be different, right? If you are having the service selling, right, then also you can have the more number of people as a subordinate. Or if your organization is a large scale organization and the small scale organization, under these two situations you have to decide that how many people can work under one person. That is the meaning of types of organization. What kind of organization you belongs to, whether it is large scale, whether it is small scale, whether it is trading firm, whether it is manufacturing firm, whether it is service providers. Accordingly you can have this control. आपने hotels वगैरह में भी देखा होगा ना, अगर किसी रेस्टोरेंट में विजिट करते हैं तो एक रो का ना एक पर्टिकुलर ही सर्विस प्रोवाइडर रहता है, तो वो दूसरे रो में नहीं जाता है कभी भी. वो उन वहां पे टेबल्स पे जो गेस्ट बैठे हुए हैं उनका ही ऑर्डर लेता है, वहीं पे सर्व करता है, और जिस रो में आप बैठे हो वो वहां पे वो नहीं आएगा. तो ये भी स्पैन ऑफ कंट्रोल ही है, मतलब वो कितने गेस्ट को सेटिस्फाई कर सकता है, कितने लोगों को सर्विस प्रोवाइड कर सकता है. दैट इज टाइप ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. और कई बार अगर टेबल ज्यादा रहेंगी तो वहां पे दो लोग रहते हैं वहां पे सर्व करने के लिए, तो वो डिवाइड कर लेते हैं, टेबल नंबर 1 2 3 लाइक दैट. दे कॉल ऑल्सो कि टेबल नंबर 4 का ऑर्डर है, ये मेरा नहीं था, लाइक दैट. मेनी टाइम्स यू माइट हैव कम अक्रॉस फॉर दैट. So that is also the factor which is to be considered. Okay, so today what we have learned, today we have learned the meaning of span of management or span of control. What is span of management or span of control? Span of management refers to the number of subordinates that can be supervised effectively. ये line आपको याद रखना है. And then there are so many factors which are to be considered while deciding the number of subordinates to be given to one superior or supervisor. Okay, so with this note, this particular topic comes to an end, and in our next period, we will discuss the next topic from the same chapter.